All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into something pretty important. We're not just going to talk about resilience, we're going to talk about how to build it. We're going to explore the architecture of our own minds and figure out how to make them stronger, one thought at a time. So let's just jump right in with a big question. Is your mind playing tricks on you? We all have that voice in our head, right? That little inner critic, that voice of doubt. But have you ever really stopped to ask, where does that actually come from?
Yeah, maybe it sounds a little something like this. This thought, I'm not good enough, is probably one of the most common and powerful tricks our minds can play. It feels so real, doesn't it? So true. But is it actually a fact? To really get a handle on this, let's look at a real-world example. I want you to meet Samantha. Her story might sound pretty familiar because she was trapped in the exact same kind of mental loops that so many of us get stuck in.
See, Samantha was a classic warrior, totally caught in this downward spiral of negative thoughts. It would all start with some worst-case scenario, and then it would just snowball into these really painful beliefs. I'm not good enough, nobody likes me, I'm a failure. And here's the really interesting part. Deep down, she kind of knew these thoughts weren't 100% true, but she felt completely powerless to stop them. She was stuck. But you know, every transformation story has a turning point. And for Samantha, it was that moment when she just decided she'd finally had enough. She made a real, conscious choice to change the game her mind was playing. It really just came down to this simple but incredibly powerful declaration. She was just so tired of her thoughts being in the driver's seat. She decided she was ready to take back the wheel.
So, how'd she do it? I mean, she didn't just wish the thoughts away. She developed a tactic, a simple, three-step method for challenging these thoughts head-on. Let's break it down.
So here it is, the counter move she used. First, you have to catch the thought in the act. You have to identify it clearly. Step 2 is the absolute game changer. Ask yourself, is that true? And I don't mean, does it feel true? I mean, is it factually, provably true? And, well, that leads you right into step 3. You become a detective. You literally hunt for the evidence, for cold, hard facts that either support or, more often than not, completely refute that thought.
And this is what she found. On one side, you have the mind's big, dramatic story, I'm not good enough. And on the other side, you have the actual evidence. When she really looked for proof, she found, well, little to nothing to support that negative thought. It was just a story, repeated over and over again. Now, this brings us to a really fundamental shift in perspective. This isn't about fighting a war against your mind, it's about training it. It's all about practice, about consistency, and about progress, not perfection.
Let's call it the mind muscle. Think about it. You wouldn't expect to go to the gym once and be strong forever, right? Well, your mind is the same way. It can be trained, it can be strengthened, but it requires consistent reps. And each challenged thought, that's one repetition.
So the crucial point is this. The more you practice that three-step tactic, the stronger your mind muscle gets. It becomes easier and way more automatic to see thoughts for what they really are. Just thoughts, not facts. Samantha also discovered another really powerful tool for escaping that thought trap. She realized that most of her worries lived in one of two places, the past or the future. You know, regrets about what was or anxieties about what might be. By consciously focusing on the present moment, the here and now, she could stay grounded and stop her mind from wandering into those unhelpful places. Okay, so what does all of this add up to? What are the actual results of all this mental training? What does life look like when you begin to consciously architect a more resilient mind?
The transformation for her was profound. By consistently doing the work, Samantha didn't just get rid of a few negative thoughts. She fundamentally changed her relationship with them. She gained control, and as a direct result, she became more confident, more self-assured, which, in turn, allowed her to build a life that was genuinely more positive and fulfilling.
And this right here is the ultimate payoff, the core realization. She learned that she was separate from her thoughts. That just because a thought pops into your head doesn't make it true, and it certainly doesn't mean you have to believe it.
So I'll leave you with this. Forget about tomorrow. Forget about next week. What is just one negative thought that tends to repeat itself in your mind? What's one thought you can take through that three-step process right now, today?